can party all night. It's the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night. It's the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew.
I say, whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend podcast. It's your man, Aldo NICE.
Wow, it's your boy Los, a.k.a. C.A.P.
Listen, man, look, this is a long-awaited coming back to Jesus episode.
One of my favorites, bro.
One of our favorites and one of our first interviews we had on the podcast. Last time, Officer Friendly, now Sergeant Friendly. Sarge. Last time Sarge was on the podcast was October 20th, 2017. So it's been 3 years in the making to bring that boy back to the podcast, but
3 BC.
Not a lot of things changed, man. Not a lot of things changed, but go ahead. I mean, Officer Friendly, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. I know you ain't gonna say who you is or whatever, but
he's Officer Friendly. So we're Sergeant Friendly.
There you go. The Sergeant Friendly, man, still doing the same thing. Still giving the realest views I can give on a certain situation, that people actually want to hear, that, your average police officer wouldn't give, So I'm just here to talk about it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. And we definitely really appreciate it. If y'all want to go back in time and listen to that first episode we had, it was called Who That Called the Police. And, hashtag Who That, though, because Saints all day, every day. You know what I mean?
The nation.
I know.
I'm gonna be quiet on that one.
Please do.
Please do. Please do. Just
please relax.
I mean, I felt bad for you when y'all got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, but that's a whole nother story. We can have that conversation.
That's another subject. That's another subject, though.
Me, I'm not even a Texans fan
at all. So the first thing that's just interesting that Los and I was just talking about before you hopped on was today when we're recording this actually marks the 1-year anniversary of our incident in DC last year. So I'm not sure if you heard about that or kept up with that story, but I think I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
About the we ran it about that, the Airbnb joint. So it's so crazy. Last year that we named that lady Cancellation Karen and Can Kicking Kyle, and now the whole world is run with Karens all over the place. They got them Karens, and but we had the original Karen about a year ago, and I just think it's a poignant thing, man. And I think about that incident, and I want to shout out to that DC Metro Police for how they handled that situation once again. It could have got real ugly out there. But the fact that they was mature enough and professional enough to understand what was going on. Have you ever had to respond to a situation like that, like a Airbnb type thing, or better yet, something where people saw black people and all of a sudden figured they doing something wrong and they calling you out to do something when it's just black people, just being black?
The area I work in, we deal with it. We deal with it all the time. It's what they call a suspicious person. You know what I mean? And suspicious person, like, so what is it? What's so suspicious about them? They just look like they don't belong. So yeah, and this back when I was still an officer. So I just come on. I say it over the radio, like, just a guy walking down the street. I'm not even going to approach him. I'm not going to say anything to him because this is ridiculous. For me to because I got to put myself in his shoes. If I'm just walking down the street minding my business and somebody walk up to me and ask me, what am I doing? Even though they really have a legit complaint from somebody, so they have the right to go and see what's going on, by law. But it's like, I'm putting myself in his shoes. Like, I'm not walking up to that guy. He's just walking down the street minding his business and he black. Yeah. So just walk up to him and be like, hey, what's going on? What you doing over here? Now I'm that guy. You know what I mean? So
you are that moment when you say what you doing over there.
Yeah, so I just refuse to respond to that type of stuff, and thankfully I got the kind of leadership that's on my side on that type of thing. They back me on that, like, that's ridiculous. Somebody have to really be doing something for us to even look into that. I pass by, just gotta walk down the street. I'm not even gonna say nothing to him.
I think that goes to show like how connected you are, peer, just with people. Right. You know what I'm saying? The understanding that everybody's not going to be a suspect just because somebody called in on them. I think that's something that's very lost. And a lot of innocent lives have been taken because of the exact same thing. Just
Absolutely.
Being somewhere where somebody determines you don't belong there could cost you your life. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows? Because if I'm walking somewhere and you stop me for no reason, I'm minding my business, I haven't done anything, I'm instantly upset.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
You know,
Whether that officer has a reason or not, you don't know that. And it's like, it's just not right. I've had people tell me, hey, I got a suspicious person, you know, on the bus. I work at a school. I'm not gonna say what, but I work at a school. So give me a description. He has on this school's shorts, has on this school's shirt. He's about a 20-year-old black male. He's on the school bus. But he looks suspicious. Like, no, man, are you crazy? And I work out where I work. So there's several times where I might be running in that area, walking to go play basketball in that area. And I'm looking at it like, well, that means you look at me the same way when I'm, you know, not in my uniform. So it's like, nah, I'm not even responding to that crap.
Yeah, it could become a contentious situation real quick. Right. So, I think that's not necessarily just because you black doesn't necessarily make you more qualified to understand that, because I think that there's brothers who police who would respond to that and just be like, you know, oh, that's that black man shouldn't be here because they have a certain. I think it's because of your upbringing, because of where you from, because of your connectivity to the hood, that you understand everybody not a threat. We could, as black men, as a certain type of black men, we could look at a situation and be like, nah, that dude ain't no, he ain't want no trouble. But you can look at other ones and be like, yeah, that hey man, let me draw down.
Right, exactly. And it's like, and it's also about like, you know, everybody who's black don't have a toughness about them, you know, or a I'm a stand-up guy attitude like the movies, you know, everybody now, you know, with the fist up. So if you get like a pushover black cop or something, hey, this is what's going on. He's going to do it because that's what he's being told to do in his mind, you know. But you got to also understand that, you know, you got to have reason. You got to be reasonable about all these situations. So it's like, hey man, I'm not doing that, man. I got to, you know, not that I'm trying to handle. I wouldn't try to like I'm punking my leadership or something. But it's like, you know, y'all got to understand, I can't do that, you know. And they understand, like they're like, you know, I wouldn't do it either if I was you, you know. So. They get it.
We had a certain type of, you know, a certain interview, like the format that we wanted to go with, and I wanted to talk about certain things, but I think that the conversation is going here quickly, man. You know, years ago, I got a Black Lives Matter tat. You know, tatted up is Black Lives Matter because of the way that this is our struggle for our generation. This is like what we going through as black men and as black people in the 2020s. This is our civil rights movement.
I agree.
And the last time we had you on, it was Philando Castile. It was Trayvon Martin. It was Alton Sterling. Like we was talking about Walter Scott. Shit ain't changed, man. It's just new names now, man. It's just it's Breonna Taylor. It's Ahmaud Arbery. It's like and it's just gonna always be new names. And I think when you just said about that, and you two guys kind of went back and forth on that. You could get in some stuff just because people don't think you belong. I think it brings up the Ahmaud Arbery case like to a T. What are your, I mean, I don't know how intimately you know that case, but what are your thoughts, your general thoughts on that whole incident?
Well, I want to be clear on this. The Ahmaud case has nothing to do with the police. That's a different category. That's a racist situation, but that's more of a Trayvon Martin type. Yeah, that's not really a police shooting or police involvement type deal. It was wrong. Like it was no reason for that kid to die. Now, you know, if he was out for a jog, that's up to your own, you know, whatever you want to believe. If he was out for a jog or whatever, if he was being mischievous, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, there was no reason for him to be killed, you know. The problem I have with it is that I think they're going to end up getting off on this because I know how the law works and I know what attorneys would use. And I think they're going to get off on it. And it's messed up because the kid was ran because he was scared, you know. Yeah. I mean, he ran because he was scared. So but I honestly think they're going to get off on it, man. And it's wrong. There was no need for somebody to just say, hey, let's go and trap this kid and chase him down, and we're gonna
hunt him down.
Yeah, that's just not how things work. You can't just take it upon yourself to just go do stuff like that. They should definitely be prosecuted to the fullest extent, whatever the highest. I don't know if they definitely wouldn't get like a death penalty or anything like that, because it wasn't that kind of murder. But whatever the highest,
I'm glad they in jail getting beat up.
Right. Whatever the highest extent they can get, they should get. So
my question is, I guess it is a police question. In situations like that, it seems like the police are very hesitant to arrest the person who just shot the kid. Like, because I feel like as soon as they shot him, some people went home.
Yeah, this the thing about.
If I'm not mistaken. Then
they did.
You know what I'm saying, before they actually arrested him. So because I feel like if the roles were reversed or the shoes on the other foot, if there was a young white boy and two black old men shot him because he's running in the hood, they said he don't belong. Same thing. I think they were doing with the jail right then.
Okay. So this is the thing. This is how this works on that. A lot of people don't know this, and this is to put the police in a bad situation, because it's actually not on us. Whether somebody gets charged or not, the police has no control over that at all. No control. If I see you shoot somebody right now and I want to arrest you, before I could put handcuffs on you, but before I go to book you in, I have to get it clear with the DA and explain what just happened. And the DA has to say, okay, we're going to charge you. If the DA say, no, we're not going to accept those charges, we have to uncuff you and let you go. So that's strictly on the DA. And if his dad wasn't there, the DA or whatever the case they say, I don't know too much about it. Yeah. That's the DA move. And DA is saying no. The DA is the elected position. So I don't know how that town is. So the DA might have been like, hell no, I'm not arresting that family or whatever the case may be. But that has nothing. The police have no control over that.
The part that I heard that the police plays in this is just this. I've heard that the police gave him some kind of free reign to kind of be that neighborhood watchman, because he was a former deputy, and like the neighbor, the person whose house he was allegedly walking in, contacted the police and said, somebody's been coming in my crib, and the police responded, well, you should holler at old boy because he live in your neighborhood and he a former deputy. So they like basically was like, you can handle your business, holler at that boy. And I mean, once the police start telling random people, lay people, that they could do what they want, I don't know.
I don't know what kind of town that is, but that's BS. A police officer can't give a citizen the right to act like a police officer. You know what I mean? That's just not legal. That's just not legal at all. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So that and think about he's a former deputy or former police. That means he got fired or was about to quit. That means he got fired or was about to quit if he didn't get fired. You know what I mean? Because most police don't usually quit being a police. They usually retire or get fired. You know what I mean? They usually don't just say.
I'm not gonna trip. He might be retired.
Hence the word former.
No. It's former. It's former.
What it is?
Nobody ever says retired. They always say former. Yeah. Former with him. That means he didn't retire. So yeah.
They say they do use those keywords.
No, yeah, you got to
pay attention. The guy who owned the house actually did an interview. Yeah, the guy who owned the house actually did an interview and looked on camera. He said he didn't think that guy was stealing from him at all. You know, he said it was wrong. That's why he released the tape, because he didn't want to release him at first because he was kind of scared. He didn't want anything to do with the situation. And he said, I don't think that guy was stealing from me by no means at all. He said that out of his mouth.
I didn't heard a whole bunch of different narratives. Like I didn't heard that they had like a water fountain in the backyard that people was going running, they go drink at that water fountain. Then I heard the other thing where the boy didn't got taped. Like it's like both sides keep putting out information. You know what I'm saying? To try to make each other look bad, and it's really should be a both sides situation.
Yeah, when you look at stuff, you got to just pay attention to like the facts. All the little rumors and stuff, you can't even worry about the rumors. You got to just focus on the facts. The fact we know they cornered him, you know, put him. We know that for a fact. He ran. We know that for a fact. He walked into this house and was in the house looking around. We know that for a fact. All the other stuff, that's just hearsay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, a kid running from the house doesn't require him to get shot. But at the end, but the thing that's going to get him off is for the simple fact that he was in the house and that's what caused them the concern to approach him. And when they did approach him, they're gonna say he tried to take my gun. And on the video, it showed even though he was
get that gun,
he was trying to defend it. He wasn't trying to take his gun and shoot him. Yeah, he was trying to not die. Yeah. So you know what I mean. So they're going. That's what the defense is going to show, and that's how they're going to get off. I guarantee you.
That's crazy. That's all the video. Like you said, they always focus on the facts. And it's the facts that they have that you can see is that because he doesn't have a side of the story right now. He dead.
Right.
So it's 2 against 1. And 1 dead guy. So we're 3 because they arrested the driver. Whoever filmed it, they arrested him.
They arrested him too.
Today or yesterday. But you right up. The facts are, hey, looking right there. He's trying to take his gun away from him.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's a tough thing because we talk about this and we talked about this story on the podcast. And what's kind of the worst thing is like we all young black men who are, I guess it's hard to keep calling us young. We all middle-aged black men now. Who got to stay in shape. So we go run, we go work out. And I mean, just think about that being the last, like I said it on the pod, like the last moments of your life is you doing something you don't want to do. I don't want to be out here running. I'm doing it because I don't want to be fat. And all of a sudden somebody get behind me with a shotgun and they following me and it's some white boys. Like, I don't know why you are harassing me or why you after me. Or even if I think I know. I went in that house, so them boys probably after me. But man, get away from me with that gun. Right. And y'all tracking me down, man. That's got to be the worst. It's just the worst.
Yeah. And then too, like say if you're on mile, like say you done ran 2 miles already, and you're on mile 3. You know what I'm saying? You like 2.7, and tired legs, and here come them boys with the big shotguns, boy. Woo.
Yeah, that was absolutely wrong, man. It's no excuse for what happened to that kid, man.
So I mean, we're gonna see how that plays out because that story is definitely has Trayvon Martin vibes, and George Zimmerman got off. Another one that a lot of people talk about is the Breonna Taylor situation. Yeah, and we spoke to that on the podcast as well. And the initial story gave us a Tatiana Jefferson, and what's your boy name in Dallas? Botham Jean vibes. Mm-hmm. Like you chilling, you in your house. People come in your house that ain't supposed to be there and shoot you and kill you. We had a little different perspective on that one.
Yeah.
But I want to hear your thoughts on it first before we kind of give you what we thought.
Okay, so I don't know. So basically they had whatever that, like in Louisville or some shit like that.
Kentucky.
It was in Kentucky.
Yeah. So they had a no-knock search warrant to enter the home, which means they don't have to do anything. They could just come straight, kick the door in, go in. And they got in. The boyfriend shot at them. They shot back, killed the lady that lived there. That's a horrible situation. That's a horrible situation to put those officers in as well, because I guarantee you most of those officers.
Here you go. Defending the Blue Lives Matter. There you go.
Let me finish, man. So they put him in a bad situation. It's unfortunate for the lady. She shouldn't have died because
R.I.P.
At the end of the day, they had a bad lead, a wrong house. That's why a no-knock search warrant shouldn't even exist. I understand if you're trying to like catch a killer or trying to catch, but at the end of the day, it's trying to catch this one person worth accidentally, killing somebody who's innocent. It's not, you know what I mean? So that shouldn't have happened. That actually happened in Houston too. I want to say 2018.
Oh, you're talking about those 2 people who was in that house.
The botched raid. Yeah, it was a botched raid.
Yeah.
They went in, and
shot them people up, boy.
The dog went to attack them because they was coming in the house. They shot the dog. When they shot the dog, the husband shot at them. They killed the wife and the husband in the home. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, they had the wrong house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But the couple was white.
Yeah.
So it never became a national.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Story. We heard the story.
That came on the news. They didn't go to CNN.
Yeah, but it never became a big national story because
Isaiah Carey talked about it. That was about it.
That was it. As far as it went. So you know what I mean. And after that, the police chief from HPD said, "We never doing a no-knock warrant again. You know what I mean? That's open. So that's what it comes down to. That's a stupid warrant, man. The no-knock search warrant is just stupid. And they was in plain clothes. That you know, you don't knock on my door. If I'm her boyfriend, now I'm awesome. If I'm her boyfriend and we in at home and you don't knock on my bunch of dudes come in their regular clothes, I'm shooting too. So he didn't do anything wrong. He's in jail right now for attempted murder, and he shouldn't be.
They say he called the police. I mean, he called 911 when they were beat. You know, when he heard him coming in.
Yeah,
the 911 call. You know somebody in my house.
He shouldn't be in jail right now because he didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? So that's a horrible situation as well. But I don't blame all of the officers that was in on that raid for the simple fact that if I'm doing the raid, I don't know all of the details. I'm just going off what I'm being told that this is where we got to go because this is where the drugs at or whatever. And then I go in the house to do my job and somebody shoots at me. I got to shoot back.
I'm killing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? But unfortunately, the lady got hit, but you got to shoot back if you're a police officer and somebody's shooting at you. You can't just like, oh, my bad, man, don't shoot no more. You know what I mean? You got to shoot back.
So we had a little bit. What was it? Go ahead, Los. Tell them our thoughts on it a little bit.
Oh, well, we definitely was concerned about how, like, number one, how you get bad intel and go in the wrong house, like, and just no knock the absolutely wrong house. Because they said the right house is 10 miles down the road or 10 blocks down the road.
You forgetting the bigger point we was talking about, Los, because we were saying that the police came out and said they had footage of the boyfriend at a dope house, like she was like he was dropping off drugs at different places and they had packages being delivered to the crib.
Yeah.
So I guess to echo your sentiments, we don't want to go off the hearsay, and I love that point that you just made.
Yeah.
Don't ever go off the hearsay, just go off the facts. Mm-hmm. And the biggest fact that I think I'm taking away from you talking just now is the no-knock warrant, which is the biggest thing. Because if he was wrong or right, if they was there to get him or not, coming into somebody's house, playing clothes with the guns out, I'm shooting at you too.
Exactly, man. Exactly. In your mind, you're getting robbed. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Are you trying to kill
why
me?
I have a gun.
Right.
There's no bullets in it. Yeah. That boy gun light.
You got one.
Sorry, that boy gun light.
Oh man!
I come out to the front, get the gat,
yeah. That's when the dude cock his gun like 6 times. I'm gonna kill everybody here.
Yeah.
Cock.
Number bullet popping out the top.
Yeah, no, he ain't got no bullets. He ain't just cocking that thing. I don't know what he's doing.
All right, I'm done. I'm done laughing at me. Just relax.
But I think that's something that has.
What he said, his internet connection needs to get better. What you said, Los?
I was hoping that just wasn't me, man. I'm glad it was you.
No, it was definitely Los. I don't know what you just did. Are you still paying for internet
mine.
at your house? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's you.
I hate to play Call of Duty or something with you, man.
Go ahead, Los.
This 3 doors down.
What was you saying?
I think it's the higher ups that cause stuff like that. You know, you got to make sure you get the right intel. You know, for somebody to lose their life, you just can't be running in people's house, not knocking and playing clothes. There has to be something that comes down from the top.
Exactly. That got to do with
Yeah, because you're putting the officers and civilians in danger when you do stuff like that.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you're talking about the judges, the police chiefs, the mayor, all of them got to step in on stuff like that. And the sad thing is, stuff like that usually doesn't change until something like this happens. That's how it changed with Houston police. Something like this happened. You know what I mean? It's sad, but that's usually how it works.
Do you often feel the climate shift when things like this start happening? Like, do y'all feel this in the police headquarters? Do y'all feel this where you work that damn they didn't had a couple more shootings and it feels a little bit more tense? It feels like more stuff going on. No, not really. Are y'all kind of insulated from that?
Well, speaking on what you said about, you know, kind of the same thing going on, I kind of disagree. Like we did our thing in what that was 17.
17, yeah.
We had just came off 16. But
mutually, 16 comes before 17. Sure.
I'm going to get back to what I was saying about 16, man. Asshole. Okay. So 17, 18, 19. Look, 17, 18, and 19 were all pretty quiet on these, you know, national big media police shootings, with unarmed black people or whatever. It was pretty. I mean, both them Gene happened in that era, but for the most part, it was pretty quiet.
Okay.
And in 2020, it kind of started back up. But after 2016, none of this is really on that level, because you got to understand, summer 2016, July 5th, Alton Sterling. July 6th, Philando Castile. July 7th, that was the Dallas shooting of the police officers at the parade. This is 3 days in 2016. So this is light compared to, now in 2016, it was like, oh shit, hey, nobody's riding by themselves anymore. Everybody needs to ride 2 men to a car, y'all need to have that. None of that's going on right now because it's not quite at that level. And then also, this is kind of like, nothing has happened that puts police on the fence. Most police are saying, yeah, that was wrong. It's like the 2 things, that's definitely wrong. You know what I mean? So nothing is really putting us on the fence like that may be right or that may be wrong. Everybody pretty much agrees that those 2 incidents were absolutely wrong.
Okay, that's interesting because that would lead me to believe that the 16 events that you talked about, Philando Castile and all of them, that people were on the fence, that you had to go to work with people who legitimately were on the other side of the fence about that. Like Philando Castile reached, they told him to keep his hands, whatever.
Not necessarily on the fence about was it a bad shot. Everybody agrees that it was a bad shot. No doubt about that. But the fence about the tense situations as far as like, I'm a white cap, man. They not after you. You know what I mean? They after me. You know what I mean? Or like, they looking at white cops looking at black, Lives Matter movement as like a KKK. You know what I mean? They don't really. You know what I mean? They look that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And that make them like not as sympathetic about a black guy getting killed, because you thinking, as soon as a black guy get killed, Black Lives Matter, and they are, and they looking at that as a because you got to remember when the
direct attack on everything Black Lives Matter against them.
You got to remember when the deputy got killed, a guy said something about Black Lives Matter. Just because this single guy who has nothing to do with the real movement, he says Black Lives Matter when he killed the cop. You know what I mean? They looking at it like, okay, so these guys are like the black KKK or whatever. So it made them not as sympathetic about certain things. So that's what I mean by on the fence. Not necessarily it was good shootings or bad shootings.
It's tough. It's tough all the way around. And I'm just kind of thinking about it, and the conspiracy theorist in me starts thinking 2016, 2020 elections. More media coverage of things like this to separate us more, to bring people more out who don't like us, to vote against us.
Stick to the facts, now.
See, my brother, if you add 20 plus 16, you get 36. 3-6, Mafia, Tennessee.
Got a club up.
Nigga tear the club up. You feel me? Slob
equals
sipping on some scissor. Codeine.
Wow.
In Texas, opening bars. Okay, go ahead. I'm done. Los, what you got?
What's stupid, man? Like, what type of situations have you been in situations like this before, where one wrong moral judgment could land you in one of these type of spots on CNN or one of those cops?
Yeah, I pulled the dude over who he was high on PCP. And I was in the middle of Main Street, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? He actually wasn't even the driver; he was the passenger. But they kept stopping. And it was weird. I'm like, oh shit, they drunk. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. They just kept hitting on the brakes, So I pulled him over, and the driver was like, he looked like he was like a white dude. He looked like he might have been a crackhead, meth type dude. And the dude was with him, but this dude with him was high, was out of his mind high. Yeah. And he, like, man, I've been trying to get this dude to get out of my car, and he won't get out. I keep stopping, like, hey, please get out. He won't get out. So I'm like, damn, why did I put? Why didn't I just drive? So not just let them people be.
Yeah. So as I'm
3 in the morning. I'm about to get off in 3 hours.
Bro, I got 3 more hours. You know? So I
Paperwork and shit now.
as he explaining this to me, the guy just kind of looks at me and just like open his door and just slides out the car. I'm like, oh, where you going, buddy? You know what I mean? He just keeps on walking. So I say, hey, just stay right here, don't move, you know. And I go talk to the guy like, oh, he didn't already complained on you. You can't just walk away, you know. So you know, I can't really show y'all now, but he kind of like has his back to me and he puts his hand in his waistband, you know, looking back at me like, going on, man, going on, you know. And I'm like, so now I got to pull my gun out. Like, bro, come on, bro. Definitely, it's a black dude, you know what I mean? The driver was white, passenger black. 3 o'clock in the morning, they both look like junkies. They junkies for sure. Yeah, white and black dudes don't ride together at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking like junkies unless they junkies.
Only 2 reasons: drugs and drugs.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so he started doing that. Now you know. Now I got to pull my gun out, and I'm like, if this guy, if he don't put his hand up, if he does any flinching or anything, I got to shoot this dude. You know what I mean? The guy didn't have a gun on him at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But even though he did all of that, nobody would have gave a damn. They would have just been like, you shot a guy who didn't have a gun. That's all they would have cared about. The problem is, if he have a gun, I can't play quick draw. I can't wait to turn around and pull the gun up for me to shoot him. I got to already have the jump on him. I can't wait. You know what I mean? I can't give him a fair fight like that. So
it ain't that type of party.
Nah.
Right.
Cartoons. So when you have your gun out, where are you aiming?
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
We train
center mass, right?
We train to shoot center mass. So that's your torso area.
Right. Ain't no shoot you in your hand. Like the boys ain't marksmen. I'm gonna shoot the gun in your head. Boys ain't Jet Li.
I'm gonna tell you, as far as police concerned, like that's the most thing we laugh at when people say they should have shot him in the leg. They should have shot him. Like if you shoot him in the leg, I mean he can still shoot you back. You know what I mean?
No, I've seen police shootouts and y'all use a whole bunch of bullets and hit somebody sometimes. So
well, whenever somebody says, I gotta ask you, like, how do you think somebody adrenaline in their heartbeat is if they in a shootout?
I thought y'all get trained for that.
Huh?
Nah.
I thought y'all be training. I thought honestly, this is what police do. I thought y'all wake up, donuts, right? So after the donuts, y'all probably go to the office. About 15, 20 reps, about 225. No, about 5 reps of 225, about 15, 20, and 185. Y'all maybe do a little paperwork, drive around in a circle. Then go back, some more weights. Then go to the shooting range every day and just be shooting at.
Oh, you forgot free lunch. They go somewhere and eat free.
Free, yeah. Offer some blue discount. They go to the shooting range? That little thing come up to the screen, and they over there shooting. And it's obviously it's a innocent black man with no gun, with unarmed black man that y'all target practice.
With his hands up.
With his hands up like this.
Right. Yeah, the hood on. With the hood on. There you go. Yeah. What else? What else you got, man? Asshole, man.
He is, man.
He's an asshole. Man.
The views expressed by Aldo NICE do not express the views. Do not represent the views of Best Friend Weekend.
The Best Friend Weekend. Or Sergeant Friendly.
Exactly. But seriously though, man, it's like we train. You can't train. You know, it's like Mike Tyson's line. Everybody got a plan until they get hit.
Fair enough.
You can train the box. You can train the box for 3-4 years. You get in the ring with Mike Tyson. You gotta deal with that. You know what I mean? It ain't no training in the world that can prepare you for bullets for possibly getting shot.
Well, the thing that I think I respect about you a lot is that I know a lot of what you do is you train other police officers and you train them about conversations and about de-escalating situations and about talking to people and not being so quick to pull your gun and things like that. And I think a lot of, like I was talking about the different, lifting weights and pulling out guns, but they said in the police academy, they said 80% of the time people be in the academy would be about like offensive tactics and not defensive. And I mean, this was This was years ago.
Body language. You got to learn how to read body language and stuff like that.
But I mean, is it becoming more of a thing where y'all are really like putting the emphasis on nonviolent de-escalation, that type of thing?
It depends on what department you going into. You know what I mean? If you, I'm gonna be honest with you, you go into a big metropolitan department, a lot of that stuff is gonna be offensive. They're gonna show you that, you know, because they deal with it. You know, if you're in a big metropolitan area, I guarantee you it's a hood. It's a hood somewhere in the mix, you know, and then somebody has to work it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna treat you how they're gonna train you how to. And when I say hood, I don't necessarily mean black people. You know, it could be a trailer park. It could be
trailer park at the hood. Yeah.
Barrio, whatever. You know what I mean? It could be in it, but they're gonna train you on how to protect yourself in these situations. So you can't always just go with the de-escalations, because, you know, as we all know, grew up a certain way. It's some dudes you can't just de-escalate. They not trying to hear none of that, you know. You know what I mean? Ray ain't trying to hear none of your de-escalation tactics. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So Ray was the fool as a kid, and now he's 6'5".
Yeah, yeah. So he ain't trying to hear none of that.
Ray getting his work. Right. So it depends on where you go, man. But yeah, most departments do go towards the de-escalation, way, for the simple fact that it's just easier, man. It's easier to have a conversation and talk somebody down. You'll be surprised at stuff I've heard, man. Like one dude told me I'm messing with him because he's black. I just laughed. I started laughing, and he was like, I ain't even have to say nothing. He's like, man, you only mess with me because I'm black. You know, I'm on body camera and everything. I got the body camera. I'm like, you know, I just started laughing. And he was like, you know what, man? Yeah, you're right. I ain't have to say a word. You're right, man. All right, you're right. Yeah. You know what I mean? It didn't even have to go there. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man.
And I mean, I think that those type of things are helping to bridge the gap. So like that's 100%, man. Like I said, we didn't plan to keep you super long this time. And I mean, next time, we're gonna definitely get you back in again, maybe another 3 years. But right now we in some unprecedented times, right? And
y'all got something to attack me with, right? Y'all gonna wait till. That's how I know there hasn't been a lot of shootings over those years, because y'all haven't got me back.
I ain't had your back.
Man, I asked you to come. Okay, so not since we want to clown. I saw him at the spot. He was at the spot in Fifth Ward over there, and I had some little bitty shorts on. Yeah, before you even try to play me.
Little bitty is an understatement. You know what I mean?
I have my little D Wade daddies on. But I say that to say this: that night when I saw you, I was like, "Come get on the podcast on that week." And did you come? No.
I planned on coming. What happened?
You got married.
Yeah. No comment. You win that round. You win that round. You
ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Podcast. What is that?
Your boxing should never be longer than.
What's her name?
Oh no, here you go.
Back on that. Your boxing should never be longer than your shorts, man. That was so disrespectful, man, to walk around like that, man. All right, don't ever let me see that again, bro.
I was looking like a little white man running with some tights that was longer than the running shorts.
There you go, man. Yeah, MJ
coaching bikes on.
Ain't nothing wrong.
Them bikes.
But no, this is the point I was gonna say. I feel like we in such unprecedented times during that Rona, right? Everybody been doing different stuff. How has policing been during that Rona? Do you feel like, I don't know, you feel like you're working more, working less? And a real question I want to ask you is, with things opening back up, is it going to be a part of your job to keep people safe, like in regards to social distancing and wearing masks and doing the dumb stuff that we just hate, like these big congregations? I don't know. What are your thoughts on like policing during that Rona?
Do you know anybody who got a ticket for not following the guidelines?
Nah.
You know anybody arrested for not following the guidelines? Nobody.
We don't know people who go outside though. Our friends don't go outside.
Ain't nobody trying to.
No, we do have some friends who go outside.
Yeah. Nobody's trying to deal with that.
We just don't talk to them right now.
Yeah, nobody's trying to deal with that, man. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who might possibly, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, officer.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what, bro, go on. You know, I'm not even, they they would say stuff like if you know, if you pull somebody over and they threaten you like as if they have corona, that's a threat. They go to jail for that. Whatever. I pull you over and you say you got corona. Be safe, bro. Be safe, bro. You know, get home, man. Quarantine, man. You don't be out here, man. Yeah. That's it. I'm gone. You know what I mean? I'm not putting my life, my family life in danger just to get an arrest over because somebody say they got corona.
Just to prove a point. Yeah, I'm not the same money you got last 2 weeks.
Exactly, bro. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm
same
not
putting same money.
It's some things you can fight. Yeah. Right. Some things you can fight, the airborne shit. You know, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm good. Oh, you going 125? You got corona? Hey, my brother, slow down a little bit for me. Go 57.
So there was no real work from home period for y'all, right? It's been full go the whole time.
Yeah, not us. You know what I mean? You had a couple guys that could because they did like office work, but nah, it's been full go, man. None of our meetings stopped. We still had meetings. We just do them just like this. Everything.
Do they still deliver y'all donuts? Do they bring them to y'all house now, or how y'all get donuts?
Nah, man. We do a you know, they had like a setup for they had like an extra with like a little shield when you go pick them up. You know what I'm saying? So you still go up there, man, but you just had to wait outside until they said they were ready. First, walk in there and pick them up. You know.
And when y'all do target practice, is it a big germ? Is it like a one big germ that y'all be shooting at?
No. It's still the innocent black kid. Still the innocent black kid. That doesn't change. Corona ain't changed that. Nah. I'm just joking.
Probably worse.
I'm just joking. Let me be clear. That was a joke.
No, we cut you saying it's a joke out.
We edit that part out.
We cut you saying. Yeah, we editing you saying it's a joke. We just gonna make it say you just serious.
But that's how. I mean, we're gonna send it to all the hoteps we know. Police officer admits.
That's how you gotta do.
Oh man,
Los, you've been trying to go viral. It's our chance, man.
Hey, damn, no haircut, boy.
Change your name to brother Los #2 or something.
Yeah. Now see, this is the problem with our country. The people who should be protecting us, the so-called Negro.
Minister Los and Aldo X.
There you go.
The so-called police officer here to protect and serve, but he's here to protect and swerve on the black man. That's what.
I mean, hey, man. It's different times and it's different things. Hey, man, look, I promised I wouldn't keep you on super long, man. We not pushing up against it, but I want to have some more content because we're gonna do it again. And I mean, we need to definitely have like a sitting appointment where we can get you back on more often because I think the people need to hear your perspective. You give good perspective on things that you should be concerned about and not the things that you shouldn't. Because I feel like a lot of times as a people, we get caught up in the sensational headline. And that's what we all about, as opposed to reading all of the things or informing ourselves on what's going on, and before we repost some stuff and be like, look, you don't like us all the time, but they're not always out to kill us. So
it's kind of like you got to really educate yourself on things. It's like when the Botham Jean stuff happened. You know what I mean? She was convicted of manslaughter. And people really thought she was gonna get like 50. Oh, like you don't get that kind of time for manslaughter. She's gonna get like 5 to 10, something like. You're not getting a lot of time for manslaughter. That just doesn't work. Nobody gets a lot of time for manslaughter. You know what I mean? So that's just how it works. You know what I mean?
You get even less time for manslaughter when his mama and brother want to hug you in the courtroom.
I'm not going there, man. I can't control. I can't judge nobody's forgiveness level, man. Okay, I'm not going there. You know? Why y'all didn't flip out like that when that white kid shot up that church and all those people went and forgave him before he went to trial?
Who you talking about?
Dylan Roof?
Dylan Roof, yeah. All those families, like I
felt the exact same way then.
Because I was too busy thinking about killing him. Like I wasn't worried about none of that. I was like very. You
so fake Panther, bro. You so fake Panther.
How you a fake
Panther? Killing him. Oh, he in jail now. You want to go get him, huh?
That boy call you a lemur. That boy call you a lemur, man.
Yeah, that's you, right? Yeah, let me cock Mark gun before you ever see or George Zimmerman.
Like little boots in there.
You don't want to see George Zimmerman. You know he gonna shoot. You know George Zimmerman gonna shoot. So you better be careful before you say you want to see.
Now you gotta sneak up on George. You can't confront him face to face.
Yeah, you gotta be
You
stuck.
sneaking up on him. Cause he's shooting with confidence that he ain't going to jail. I done shot one of y'all before. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
These is jokes, but we said this on the pod before that. Ahmaud Arbery, it was terrible. Trayvon Martin, it was terrible. But Trayvon at least beat the shit out that boy at first. I mean, Trayvon was slamming that boy head on the concrete. Come here with it.
That's why he shot him.
That's that. Trayvon was working that motherfucker out.
Ahmaud Arbery tried. The difference is our buddy had to pull his gun out on Trayvon.
Yeah.
Man already had the shot.
He already had that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I hate to speak ill of the dead if I was doing that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is for at least Trayvon got him some, man. That's all. That's the only thing I could say about that, man.
That's true. He did mess that boy face up. He messed that boy face up.
It is what it is, man. Hey, look, appreciate you once again, man. And like I said,
our
doors are always open.
Promotion.
Man.
And if y'all
tell my sister she missed out on the there. Oh, my bad. I shouldn't even say it. Ooh. Sometimes I forget you recording and I just edit that out, bro. Edit that out. My bad. What you saying?
I don't know who he's talking to. He's not talking to me.
I'm a habitual line stepper. My bad.
He's stepping over the line, but it don't matter, man. Look, until next time, look. Y'all have a great weekend.
I want to hear him get me out now. All right, man.
Make it a best friend weekend. And we out.
Damn.
Yeah, hey man, you ain't right. You ain't right.
We can party all night. It's the best of the best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew. Everybody already know what it do. When you really gotta kill it, ain't nobody gonna feel it. When you really gotta tell them it's my crew. It's best friend weekend. We can party all night. We got Ross moving, Los, Rumble, Aldo NICE.